Details from this week's Board of Health meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, June 10th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mantle. The Board of Health approves an extension for water and sewer connection for the concession stand at McKean Park. Chief Procurement Officer David Anthony says the extension is necessary due to weather and seasonal sports.
We come before you quite simply to explain the situation associated with installation of the sewer and water line. Given the winter that we had, there was a delay in being able to get this scheduled. The course of the pipes actually travel right behind the bleachers. There is a 7-day, I'm summarizing because I assume that you received the explanation, but there was a 7 to 10 day installation window, and there is no period of time between June 12th, when the first Hyannis home game is, and the end of the season on August 15th, when there would be an appropriate number of days in a row where that work could be done while the season is underway. So what we have asked is that the work be commenced on August 15th. The reason for August 15th, and the vendor has already agreed to do that, is because the fall sports associated with St. John Paul II commence the last week of August. So we have a very tight window before, again, we have activity on the site. And what we're trying to do is make sure that all of the work that is done to bring a pit for the sewer and for the water connection down to the press box is done at a time when we don't have a lot of activity on the site. This is one of the challenges of this field, that the Harbor Hawks and the Hyannis Athletic Association have really made that field into a desirable field. There's a lot of people who want to use it, and busy fields like this are very difficult to do this kind of disruptive work around. So what we are looking at here, we went out to bid. We got 4 bidders. We have the low bidder already in place. We already have them queued up to work for August 15th. One of the reasons we couldn't start earlier is that there is a 6-week lead time on one of the critical pump parts, which we could not order until after the bid had been awarded. So there's a series of issues and timing issues that we have run into. This is not the fault of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks or the Hyannis Athletic Association. In reality, it is just a scheduling of work, but we are on the cusp of being able to make this issue completely go away. And this would be the last time because we know that the installation will commence on August 15th.
The Board of Health unanimously approved the extension. The town will send a letter to the Board of Health once the project begins. A local juice maker will be required to get a few more permits before continuing sales at local farmers markets. The local juice was before the Board of Health for selling unpasteurized juice without proper permits. Attorney David Lawler told the board that owners Jen Villa and Nicole Cormier are working to rectify that situation.
The owners of the establishment, and in speaking, Jen and Nicole have gone out in business and trying to create this great product, but being new to the game, have made a few missteps along the way, which they admit to. And in talking with licensing and I'm sorry. Board of Health and obviously Donna doing her job and Tom have pointed out some of these errors and issues that have occurred, and as a result they're not contesting what has gone before you. We want to move forward. They've brought me on board just yesterday, as a matter of fact, or 2 days ago, and we've gone over some of the issues that need to be done to safely manufacture this particular product, which is a natural organic juice, very high-end, very healthy, looking to bring some employment to the town of Barnstable, really a cutting-edge situation. But again, as I stated in the beginning, there were some missteps, and they're up here today and acknowledge that those mistakes were made, acknowledge that they need to pay a little bit more attention to some of the rules and regulations, and have brought on expert help to do that, and are ready to move forward in a safe and healthy way.
Board of Health Chair Dr. Wayne Miller proposed giving the local juice a warning for those violations.
I propose a warning for that we accept the timeline and the Bourne letter into record. Note that the individuals have agreed to the findings in both of those, and that we will issue a warning and a requirement that going forward the product be produced in a licensed facility.
And inspected.
And inspected.
Absolutely.
And the Board of Health unanimously voted to give the local juice a warning. The company will discontinue sales until they obtain the proper permits. The Board of Health wants a Centerville homeowner to clean up their property. After sending several letters to the property owner, the yard at 100 Neck Nyes Road East is still littered with items. Neighbor Heather Swenson told the Board of Health that the abandoned property is causing a lot of problems.
And I just wanted to say that also there's items like a child's plastic slide half submerged in the water along the shore. We've been having issues with people now that the property sits essentially abandoned, and there's been fishermen coming down with their boats there's a little boat launch there. There's been fishermen using their boat launch, accessing the lake by their property, which we have reported to the police once because we've had an issue with, there was 2 fishermen that were there for a full day, parked on their property, and before the leaves were on the trees, they were urinating on the property within view of my home and my dock, and I have children that are at my house. So it's definitely been an ongoing issue at that property with trash and...
Yeah, the trash is something we can deal with. You know, their lawyer, Tom, you should make the lawyer alerted to this because that's a liability issue for the family.
They've also just recently, I'm assuming it's one of the fishermen that's been using the property, cut down a few trees and dropped them into the lake to access the side of the property better for fishing purposes. So there's some freshly cut trees on the side of the property also.
Recently, the property became posted no trespassing.
That's the woman who lives on the island, not that. There's 2 Schobel residences there. The woman who lives on the island posted her land, but the property you're speaking of is not posted.
She at least finally got electricity, right?
Yes, she does. And
brought a
it's
smile to
been
your
quiet
face.
and lovely. So I just wanted to bring those couple issues up.
We'll make sure that we look at that too. Thank
The
you.
Board of Health voted to levy a $100 fine and to order the owner to appear at a show cause hearing in July if the property is not cleaned to an inspector's satisfaction. The Board of Health will obtain a cleanup order at that time with the owner bearing the cost. The Board of Health continues with plans to increase the smoking age to 21 in the town of Barnstable. Chair Dr. Wayne Miller updated the board on steps being taken.
I've been working with Ruth Weil, and I think we finally got a rewrite of our regulations that are about ready to be in place. Have you gone through it, Tom?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
You didn't get it? She sent it to both of us.
She said she had revised what we already have on the books, which is a great idea, and just raise the age to 21.
Yeah, we're going to basically, well, no, there were a number of things with our regulation that had to be corrected because as we added things onto our regulation, there were things that were contradictory. So she removed those contradictions, and the big thing that she's done in rewriting our regulation is to increase the age for purchase from 18 to 21. To include e-cigarettes as tobacco products in any shape or form, to include the inhalation of any combustible,
Yes.
such as a hookah bar, and under our smoking regulations, and to reemphasize, like state law does, that marijuana is considered the same as smoking.
The Board of Health will continue that discussion at its next meeting, July 14th. Well, 2 board, committee, and commission meetings will be held this evening. The Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee meets at 6:30 in the West Barnstable Community Building, and the Zoning Board of Appeals will meet at 7 in the Town Hall Hearing Room. Be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Director of Technical Services at the Cape Cod Commission, Glenn Cannon. We'll also have our weekly golf segment, plus we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.